All right, thank you, Erin. Well, first of all, good morning. How are we today? Good. I want to kind of show you where I am, just as I sort of talk about why we're here today. So my name, first of all, is Robin Chase, and I am a state park interpreter for California State Parks. Okay, so we have about 280 park units located all over the state, and today I'm going to focus on just one, and I'm also going to cover one amazing resource that we get really excited about, those bean bags of blubber behind me. But before I get to that, I want to kind of orient you with exactly where I am. Hearst and Simeon is located halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco, right on the coast of California. So that's sort of an important note because as you can see behind me, we have lots of open space. This may not be what you think of when you think of California. Most of California has been built upon, especially the coastlines. So we are particularly lucky to be able to say that we have all of this wonderful habitat and environment to basically celebrate all of the awesome resources that bring people here from all over the world. So these animals behind me are going to be making a lot of noise. Can you hear them? I'm always curious. Okay, good. Okay, good. So I'm not sure if you have ever met the northern elephant seal before, but these animals come to Hearst and Simeon, these very peculiar pinnipeds come to Hearst and Simeon State Park for three very special reasons. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about those reasons today. We might talk a little bit about adaptations, but we only have a little bit of time. Hopefully by the end of the program, first of all, let me take a vote. How many of you think, based on what you see behind me, do you think these animals look lazy? Yeah. One of the most common questions that I get from visitors when they come to the park is, are they dead? That is the most common question that I get from the northern elephant seal. And I thank them for being wonderful stewards and worrying about wildlife. You know, we want to make sure that we do our best to kind of protect these animals. One thing that I want to point out is that I am up on a bluff. Okay, so I am not down on the beach. These are 5,000-pound pinnipeds. If you're not familiar with how much 5,000 pounds is, it's basically the size of a small car. So I'm going to stay up on the bluff to protect the state park interpreter today. And also, I want to make sure that these animals are protected because there's a very vulnerable age class on the beach right now. And actually, today is a birthday. A couple of minutes ago when I was setting up my equipment, I noticed a birth. So we're going to see who the newest resident is on the beach. I'm going to use my spotting scope to go ahead and zoom in. And this is very important because I want to make sure that I do not disturb these animals. Let me just adjust my scope a little bit. It's a little blurry. Oops. Okay, it's a little bit better. The sun is just rising right now, so when we have dim light, we tend to, I notice that the scope doesn't work as well as it could, but that's okay, we'll roll with it. Technology is like nature, you never know what to expect. But you can actually see the seagulls are sort of keeping the beaches clean for us. So as you can imagine, there are certain things that come along with a birth that maybe we don't want to see or smell. And fortunately, we have the janitors on the beach today making sure that everything is cleaned up. So this little pup has just met his mother. This pup is the first reason why the northern elephant seal comes to Hearst and Simeon State Park. This particular time of the year is their pupping season. Sorry, I'm just gonna, where are you? There you are. lucky, so if that pup is lucky, that pup is only, like I said, a couple of minutes old. And at about a couple of minutes old, that pup weighs about 80 pounds. So he's about just basically a bag of bones. But in one short month, mom will give that pup the greatest gift of all. She will actually exchange half of her body weight through her rich milk, which basically has the same fat content as whipped cream. Okay, so her very rich milk is going to help this pup balloon up to 300 pounds in just one short month. And if he's lucky, someday he will grow up to become as big as this guy here. So this is an alpha male, and he is probably closer to, I would say, 3,000 pounds or 4,000 pounds. It's hard to say. So we'll go back to our newest birth here, if I can find him. So you can see lots of females on the beach, lots of pups, all of those black-coated, smaller animals. Those are all pups. They've all been born within the last month. So the relationship between mother and pup is actually a very quick one. They will only spend 30 days together. And after 30 days, mom will be starving. She will be unable to basically stay on the beach because, like I said, she's given half of her body weight so that that pup could balloon up to that 300 pounds. Now, you might think these animals look quite comfortable here, and they're snoozing on the beach, and maybe you're thinking, oh, this looks like a pretty nice place to call home. Well, the northern elephant seal only spends 10% of its life, so a very small percentage of its life on land. The rest of the time, they're at home, here in the Pacific Ocean. So the Pacific Ocean is home to the northern elephant seal, and that is the place where mom needs to get back to so that she can forage for her tasty treats. How many of you like to eat calamari? Awesome, I love it too. Well, you have a lot in common with the northern elephant seal then, because the northern elephant seals love to snack on tasty squid. That is one of their favorite foods. So mom and pup will hang out here for a month. Once mom leaves, pup has to work really hard to basically teach itself how to do a lot of different things. When these animals are first born, for the first month and a half or so, they do not even know how to swim, but they know how to scratch, like that guy there in the middle. But they don't even know how to swim, so they're especially vulnerable on the beach here. They have to watch out for big surf, and also they have to avoid getting trampled by those larger males that are sort of protecting their territory right now. By the way, northern elephant seal males like to fight over sections of beach because they're not very good at sharing. They basically claim a fair amount of beach and up to 50 females, which we call a harem. I just want to move the camera this way because I'm not sure if you can see it, but we have a rainbow. So that's nice. We just had a really big storm yesterday, so everything's sort of clearing out. So basically, oh, I'm wearing a coat. I'm wearing a coat. Come on. I think it's about 60 degrees or so. I'm not sure. I haven't checked so far this morning. It's early. It's early. So we are experiencing some king tides today. So we're seeing some exceptionally large surf, which is actually really not great for the pups. Hopefully we don't have a whole lot of them get swept away because it can get a little bit wild here, especially when the tides are coming in like this, or this is happening. So the thing about this program is I can't really plan everything. I have certain talking points, things that I want to say. I like to try to adapt to whatever it is, the teacher wants to focus on. But as you can see, there's so much going on behind me. I kind of have to be a little bit flexible about what I'm talking about. So you just saw a couple of northern elephant seal males battling for territory. So during pupping season, I'm going to show you just a picture of what that looks like. He says it best. The northern elephant seals tell the story, or they show us. I just narrate it, I guess. So elephant seal males will vocalize like that, and it's basically like a warning to other males that are around that they are bigger and stronger. So they are, yeah. So they're basically trying to just avoid getting into a battle like this one, like the one that you saw behind me. This is a huge waste of energy, and the battles, they aren't as common as you would think. They usually go through a series of steps before they get into a fight. And the first step is the eye. So they'll actually look at each other and kind of do this sort of stare down. The next step is they'll throw up their face and they'll puff up that giant proboscis, that nose that you saw here. And the proboscis is an adaptation, but it's a secondary characteristic, kind of like a man's beard. The best way that I like to describe it to the kids is I ask the kids to flex their muscles, and they flex their muscles. They show me their muscles, and I say, well, if you were an elephant seal, you'd be puffing up your proboscis right now to show off to the other males. And the vocalization is really fun because scientists actually studied these calls, and they found that individuals remember the calls of males that they have interacted with in the past. And they did that by going to different colonies. Our colony has about 20,000 animals, but we have a sister colony up the coast, another colony of northern elephant seals with probably about the same number. And they took recordings from different colonies and played them back to the opposite animals, and there was virtually no reaction to the vocalization. But when they played a vocalization back to an animal in its own colony, it recognized it. So that was kind of neat. All right, we have the sun coming up, so that's nice. That'll give us a little bit more light for the scope. All right, so first reason, how am I doing on time? Okay. Perfect. Okay. So the first reason we talked about that they come to Hearst and Simeon is for pupping and mating, right? But the second reason looks a whole lot different. During this time of year, they're very territorial. They don't really like to share space. The beaches are quite chaotic. They are packed, but believe it or not, this is not the time that we will see the most animals on the beach. We will actually see more animals on our beaches during molting season. So the northern elephant seal, like I said, spends the majority of its life in the Pacific Ocean. So while it's out there, it is unable to shed its skin and fur. Now, you and I, we shed skin and fur all day, all the time. We do it so often, we don't even realize that it's happening. But the northern elephant seal can't do this in its ocean home, so it has to come ashore and experience what's called a catastrophic molt. So you can kind of see the new skin that's come through here, and then the darker skin, or the tan skin there, that's sort of fluffing off. I have some molt to show you sort of how hairy these marine mammals actually are. So this is some of that molt that came off of this animal here. And if I had to describe to you what this molt feels like, it kind of reminds me of Velcro. It's very stiff. So I asked the students, if you have Velcro on your shoes or on your jacket, go ahead and run your finger across that, and that's basically what this feels like here. And if I had to describe what this smells like, it kind of reminds me of a dirty sock. Okay, so that is the second reason why they come to Hearst. As the wedding season for sure. During the season, they'll sit on a pier and they'll sort of stack together on the beach. It looks like a long line of sardines on the beach. It's just a sea of blubber as far as the eye can see. And they're way more tolerant, it seems, of each other when they're molting. They don't do a whole lot of fighting. Will lay side by side and go through their molt. Really any trouble. All right, let's see if we can get back to that tub. Mom's blocking. But yes, you're seeing all these mothers on the beach. So what's the major difference that you can see between female and the male? Here's a female right here. Can you see him? Oh, here you go. So that nose, right? So that huge proboscis. So that's the easiest way to tell the difference between males and females. But when they're younger, it can be a little bit trickier. Now, males do not grow into their noses for some time. They actually have to get closer to the age of 8 to have long established mouth. And you see they have this awesome chest shield, which is sort of like armor. It kind of protects them from incoming bites. You can imagine 5,000 pounds of force slamming down on you and 4-inch long canines back at you. That's incredible. So one of the major things that we focus on here at Hearst and Simeon is disturbance. So elephant are very large, but lots of folks think that they look lazy, and they don't actually realize how animals can be. So signs and different things around them to sort of warn folks of the potential danger. Territorial, especially this time of year. So we keep these, like this one behind me, close to the pub. But don't worry, I have 26 miles of coast. So when you come out to visit me at Simeon State Park, we have about 20 extra miles of coastline for the public. So we designated this space specifically as a northern elephant seal habitat to be able to do this on land, birthing and breeding and molting. And then the last one is what you see them doing behind me. It's just resting. Those are the 3 reasons why they come here. Right. Do you have any questions? I went through a lot of information really quick.